Hey everyone, welcome back to my Loom kitchen, and today I'll be showing you how to make these salt and pepper shakers. But you're not limited to salt and pepper. If you wanted it to be a different condiment like chili or any other spice, you could just switch the colors. This is really fast and quick and easy to make. The link below this video will take you to the recipe page, and I listed the number of bands needed for this creation, as well as other notes that I may fail to mention during the tutorial. So check that out, come back, and let's begin. To make our salt and pepper shakers, we're going to need these little beads. I'm not sure what size this is. I just found them in one of these craft kits for beading. Now when you thread them through, don't place it in the center, make it closer to one end. So how I threaded it was, I took this nylon string and then just place one of my lid colors, in my case mine is silver, and then I just place the nylon strings through the bead. Then pull in, but not all the way through, so it has a smaller entrance on one end. So we'll need 4 pieces of this bead on one lid color band. So you need to take your regular loom, remove the center row, and if you could have the 2 remaining rows facing on opposite directions, my front row is facing to the right and my back row is facing to the left. We're going to start. Take 2 of your lid color bands, place it down. Now you take one of your beaded bands and you place the hole with the smaller opening closer to your cap band peg, which is on this peg. Then you take 2 of your lid color bands and you wrap it around once for cap band. Now put your hook through, pick up that single band, making sure to pull that bead through. The bead has to be facing on top. Then hook through again, pick up those double bands. Now you lift that end chain off. And if this is our center, you're going to place that from the center, you're going to place that over here. Across, you're going to place it across on this peg. Now remove that center cap band and leave it on your hook. Take 2 bands again, lay it down. Now you take a single band without a bead. Now put that cap band on that end. Lift it up. Lift the double bands up. And remove that chain, then place it beside the first chain across. Put your hook back in that center cap band. We're going to repeat that again. 2 bands. Now you get a single band with your bead. Get your beaded band, place it down, get your center cap band, place it over that, put your hook through, pick up that single beaded band, make sure the bead goes on top, pick up those other two bands, and put it across. Now let's do it again. Two bands, and a single the color band. Place your cap band at the end and loop up that chain. Now you bring that chain across again to the last peg. So we only need 4 pegs on each side. Now 2 bands, single band without the bead, cap that off with the center cap band, loop it up, and we're going to bring it across that first chain from the other side. Two bands, single beaded band, place your cap band at the end, pick up that beaded band, making sure the bead goes up, pick up the other two, lift that off, lift your cap band off and place that on the peg beside the first one you placed on this new side. Now we're going to do it again, single band and with 2 bands and a single plain. Now you pull your cap band to the end, loop that up, move that chain, and place it down. Now our last one will be 2 bands and your last beaded band. Push down those bands on that peg because we're just going to use it temporarily. Place that beaded band on top. Now pull that cap band over. Put your hook through, but only pick up that single beaded band you just placed. Making sure to pull up that bead. Hook through. Pick up those 2 bands. Now remove that chain. Move that cap band. And you're placing that chain on the last peg, on the 4th peg of this side. And this is your initial layout, and you should have your beads on every other chain. Now we're on 8 pegs and we're going to do 2 bands all around these 8 pegs. If you could lay out your bands on the top row and the bottom row first, then we lay out the sides last. Now we're going to lift the lower 4 bands on each peg, lift them up and over. Now from the 8 pegs, we're going to go to 10 pegs. So if you look at this sides, smoothen out the sides, and let's extend from here. The top 2 bands should be this band. Let's do the same here. So on 10 pegs, we're going to do a round of double bands. Again, if you could just lay your bands on the top and the bottom first before the sides. Now we're going to lift the lower bands up and over. And do one last round on these 10 pegs, and we're going to do single bands. Lift all the lower bands up and over. We're going to now transition into the glass portion. So we have to weave clear bands. So take 2 clear bands and put your hook through this first peg. Pull those clear bands through. Place one end of those clear bands on the peg, and let's place the other end here beside temporarily. Now put your hook through the next. One end goes to the previous peg, the other end goes on the peg to replace. And that's just the same process all around. Last peg. Now you're going to pick up the other end of these bands that we placed temporarily on the side and place it there. We'll be needing 3 rounds of these glass bands on the 10 pegs. 1 round equals lay your double bands all around, then you lift all the lower bands up and over. Pause your video, finish up these 3 rounds, unpause when you're done, and we'll resume from there. So after 3 rounds on the 10 pegs, we're now going to extend to 12 pegs. So on this peg, we're going to be taking this band, which should be the upper two on this peg. Pick that up and place it over here. On the other side, you're taking this band and the upper two should be that band and place it over here. We're now in the pepper or the salt area or spice area of our shaker. For the first round, I like to mix whatever main color you have with the glass band. So in my case, I have my pepper, which is dark gray, and my first round will be 2 bands, one gray and one glass band. Lay that all around. After laying that all around, we're going to lift all the lower bands up and over on each peg. So after finishing the first round, we're going to need 4 more rounds on these 12 pegs. Pause your video and finish 4 more rounds on these 12 pegs with your main color, your spice or your salt or your pepper color. And when you're done with the 4 rounds, unpause and we'll resume from there. After the 5 rounds on the 12 pegs, we can push our creation up a bit so it won't get in the way. Just be careful not to push it out of the pegs. Now we're going to go from 12 pegs back to 10. So from this peg, you're going to put your hook through, pick up the lower 2 bands, then release those 2 on the peg, pull, and just extend this to the opposite of where the band on your hook is coming from. Let's do the same on the other side. Hook through, pick up the lower 2, release those 2 on the peg, and place it opposite from where it comes from. Now we're going to do one more round. First we place 2 bands, then we get a single band doubled on itself. We're going to alternate with 2 bands and a single band doubled on itself all around. Now lift all the lower bands up and over. Now we're getting ready to close this off. So one last layer of single bands all around. Now we're going to end this starting from this peg. So you go to the peg across, place your hook through, pick up the lowest band, and bring it up and over to that starting peg. Hook through, push back those upper two bands, pick up the lowest bands, bring it forward. Hook through, pick up the lowest band, move it forward. Just repeat that all around. Now, when we're back to our starting peg, put your hook through, pick up a single band, tie that off in a slip knot. Now help it off the loom and just shape it a bit, and that's it. So there you have it, and I hope you like it.